Hey lovelies, it's Kate. Welcome back to another Sims 4 speed build. So recently I had so much fun recreating the Barbie dream house and building the Barbie dream boat, and one of you requested a Polly Pocket build. I was obsessed with Polly Pocket as a kid just as much as I was obsessed with Barbie, so I thought, okay, this is such a cool idea. And then I started to dive into build mode and I had to figure out how to do this. There are different ways to do this, but I wanted this to look perfect, so I decided to take the round shape route because they're different shapes, different Polly Pockets, but I wanted the packaging to be round, and this is of course always a bit difficult, but I wanted to have a little challenge and I wanted this to look absolutely perfect like the original. I mean, it's not 100% like the original, but I really did my best here, and I started off by working on the round shape, as you can see here. So I've used a rock, I sized it up, and I've then used this glowing cube. It's like a nightstand. I think it's from the luxury party stuff pack, and this is an item that many people don't like for some reason, but I needed something that's colorful and bright because it's a toy. I wanted this to be very colorful. At first I wanted to use pink, but the Barbie builds were so pink that I thought, okay, I'm going to use some other really fun colors here. And yeah, you can here see that I finished the whole circle, and I then removed the rock, and I then had to use the true mod to create the shell. A disclaimer as always, I am using the true mod here for this part of the build, but the build is unmodded and CC free in the gallery, so even though I'm using the true mod, you can just grab this from the gallery and place it in the game and you will be able to use it. And the same goes for console. I just want to say this because you can see that this build heavily relied on Tool. I just wanted to have this colorful, perfect, round packaging or shell for this, so I just did it this way. I then just changed the position and I rearranged it, and my main idea was to have all these cubes to create the shell, and then I wanted to build the house on the inside so it looks like Polly Pocket. And I've removed a part in the front, as you can see. This is kind of where you can close and open the Polly Pocket. I've then used lots of foundation pieces because I wanted to fill in the area in the center, and the problem is always when you use the arrow to drag a foundation piece, it's just moving all these objects. This is why I'm placing all these individual foundation pieces. I've also made use of the build a build by feature, the deletion protection, which allows you to place something without stuff getting deleted. Obviously this, like, I didn't think of this at first, so I had to replace some of the cubes. So this was kind of the tedious part, but I just had the best time. And I was going for this beautiful blue, almost pastel purple color. I don't even know what it is because I wanted this to look so happy and colorful. And yeah, when we talk about Polly Pocket, we have to talk about the different types. I was going for the bluebird type. The original bluebird Polly Pockets were produced between 1989 and 1998, and this is kind of the original vintage Polly Pocket that most people kind of have in mind, especially like older millennials or millennials in general. And then after 1998, the production was changed, the whole look and vibe changed, and I think it's even still around today, but completely different. I feel like at some point the little dolls got gigantic compared to the original Polly Pocket. But all of this has been kind of a walk down memory lane, so I wanted to create the Polly Pocket from the 90s. I wanted to have this vibe, and this is kind of the iconic Polly Pocket look in my opinion. And I feel like every time someone builds something Polly Pocket related, it's always the bluebird type, and I have so many of these still. Like, they are at my parents', just like my Barbies, and I'm just so glad that they are still somewhere safe and secure, stored at my parents'. Yeah, but back to the build. So at this point I had built a foundation on the inside of the circle, and I had then just built different levels in the lid, I guess you could say. I was going for the tallest wall height available because this was just looking good. I wanted to have a like good distance between the different levels, so I would have enough space and I could decorate, and I just wanted this to look like balanced, because just imagine if there would be like all these levels in the lower half, for example. Of course, I needed all these levels to be evenly spread out, so I chose the tallest wall height, and I then simply decided to use letters for the area and the lid, but also a big staircase in the center so the Sims would walk up there. And I then actually added like a platform. You can see that part of it is raised now. I did not record this. This took me ages, because whenever you place a platform piece and you want to just raise it or lower it, it's just changing the position of all these cubes, and this was kind of a nightmare. But yeah, I just raised the platform and it worked out. And then I'm super proud of this idea. I don't know if it's even cool, but I've used a canvas from Debug. It's from the base game, to create some windows, because Polly Pocket always had these fake windows, obviously. Like, there wasn't really a hole in the lid or something. This wouldn't make sense. So I also wanted to create a fake window, and for this, yeah, I used the canvas, and then I'm going to use this wall decal, which is, I think, also from the base game, and they are like clouds and different things, the moon. And then, as you will see, I'm going to add the glowing wallpaper from Spa Day, so it also looks super fancy at night. Like, at this point I didn't think of this yet, but you will see in a second when I'm decorating the window. And this really made it look like a really cute window. And just as for the Barbie builds, I was going for a toy feel. I really wanted this to look like a toy, so I did not furnish or clutter this like a regular build. I really wanted this to have a Polly Pocket vibe, but I still included anything your Sims might need. So there's a kitchen, there are beds, a bathroom, which is open because everything is open. It's like a dollhouse. There is a dining table area. There will be a really fancy garden at the bottom. So there's really anything your Sims might need. And this beautiful painting, this gigantic heart, is from the wedding stuff pack. It can be found in Debug. I think it's only available in Debug, but I could be wrong. But this is where I found it. And I then decided to just turn this area up there into bedrooms, and I used a wall divider to kind of divide the bedrooms later on, as you will see, because I didn't want to like use walls and close this off because it's a Polly Pocket toy. It wouldn't make sense. So instead I've just used some wall dividers, and I changed the floor a bit at the top because I just needed a bit more space for the whole bed situation, and I felt like it looks cute. This is like a bit uncommon. Technically that wouldn't be a round shape like this, but I just needed the extra space and it looks fancy. And I just built a bathroom in the corner, and I used the same glowing cubes that I had used for the whole packaging to just have a really glowing and fun nightstand. The colors are, like, it's really colorful. We have this blue color from the outside. Then I have this mint green color in some areas. Lots of purple, a bit of pink. But as I said earlier, I tried to stay away from like a proper pink color, like a hot pink color. And yeah, I'm finally decorating the window here. I'm so proud of this. I think it's such a cool feature. And I'm going to build even more windows down there. And I also changed the position of the letter because of the windows, and I play tested this. I had the hardest time making the letter in the front functional because I have all these cubes there, or will have all these cubes there for the closing mechanism, and they were kind of in the way, but I made it work. And I just really tried to like make it look like the real deal, but it's of course still supposed to be functional. I'm also going to use this gigantic bow later on, and I'm going to place it in front of the letter eventually. And I also made sure that it's functional, so all of this works. It's like a really kind of chaotic build, like the whole process, but after all, it all worked. I then started to furnish the outside. I feel like it really helps that there are two different levels, because when you look at the real Polly Pockets, there's like so much happening at in the bottom area, like always. There's like so much happening, different levels, and yeah, I just turned this into a garden. I wanted to include a pool because lots of Polly Pockets had like a pool area or something, and yeah, I also thought it would be cute to just have a pool, and I've used the same rock that I have used in the beginning, so I could just follow the shape of the rock. I've used the Spade Stony Goodness slab to create the round shape, and I'm then just going to fill in the area using a pool, so this is functional. And I just really had to just find different objects that I could use on the outside so it would look like a toy, but I also just had to make use of all the space, like, so it's not just an empty area. And this was kind of difficult, completely different from just building a regular build. I can just totally recommend this, like building anything like this. It's super fun and challenging, like a dollhouse. There are other ways to create the shell. For example, if you want to have a rectangular regular layout, you could just use walls and roofs to create the round shapes, like building a room, for example, or multiple rooms on top of each other, and you could then just use a roof on the outside to have a slightly round shape. And then you can also create this. It was just so tedious and confusing because I was so set on having the round shape, because it's like this iconic look, and I'm going to tell you why it's so iconic. Not only were so many Polly Pockets in the shape, like lots of them came in a round shape, but the original one, like the very first Polly Pocket, the prototype, was created by someone for his daughter, and he just used a compact, like a powder compact, and built like a tiny dollhouse in there for his daughter, which was, I think, 3 years old. And he's kind of the original creator of Polly Pocket. His name is Chris Wicks, and yeah, he created Polly Pocket, and this was the prototype. And a powder compact is also round, so the prototype was round, and I feel like this is why we got so many round shaped Polly Pockets. But there were different shapes, rectangular, star shaped, everything. And then later on there were like a castle, for example, and you could just open it up, so it just was very different from the typical packaging, which again just looked like a compact kind of. There were like so many different types, but yeah, I think this is why the round shape is so iconic, and you just know that I love round shapes. I've created so many different builds recently, but I just had to create something that's like a bit over the top and needs tool and everything. Yeah, and here I'm furnishing the exterior area. I've used this super cute rocks from high school years. It kind of looks like AstroTurf, like it really looks super fake, and there are these flowers on it. It just looks perfect, and I've then used the bow. And yeah, this is it. Thank you so much for watching. This build is available in the gallery, and it's CC free and unmodded. Even though I've used the tool mod, as I've explained, it's CC free and unmodded because it does not affect the gallery upload. You can download this both on PC and console, and you can also grab the tray files from my Patreon. And speaking of which, it's time to thank my wonderful Emerald Patreons and my Emerald YouTube members. A big thank you to Mehmet Ali Baris Khan, Paula Anna, Asia, Emma Barnes, Lisa Martin, Leah Cross, Saturated Spark, Shannon McClam, Stephen, and Helena Lynn. Thank you so much for your huge support. A big thank you to all my other Patreons and YouTube members. And of course, a big thank you to anyone who's watching my videos. Thank you for just being here, for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it, and it means the world to me. And yeah, I hope you will have a perfect day and week. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope I see you in the next video. Oh, and also if you have any more requests and just ideas, just like this wonderful Polly Pocket build, just leave a comment down below and I will get back to you. And yeah, bye bye.